In this video, I'm going to rank every single healing weapon in Fortnite history from worst to best. As the title of this video suggests, this is every weapon that can also heal you in some way. And of course, this will be public battle royale weapons only, so no Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet, which obviously was only available in the Infinity Gauntlet LTM modes. Also, no augments because they are not weapons. That all being said, if you do go on to enjoy this video, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe. We're pushing for 100,000 subscribers, and use code TYFRYZ in the Fortnite item shop when you get the chance. With that all being said, let's get into this ranking video. At number 12, in dead last place, is the Bandage bazooka. And I know what you're going to say, hey Ty, that's not a weapon, alright? But you know what? It's got bazooka in the name, and the Fortnite wiki does define it as a both weapon and healing item, so it will be on this list today, as well as all of its other counterparts, right? The Lawless slap cannon, the Chug cannon, and Juice's Chug cannon as well. The Bandage bazooka continues to age horribly year after year, right? We keep getting great mobility items, and the Bandage bazooka, while innovative at the time, this was the first ever item to take up 2 inventory slots, is just not good. It's not good at all, right? Only healing white heals, not being able to give any shield, and only 15 white health at a time. Just not going to be able to make it any higher up on this list. At number 11 is the Sideways Scythe from Chapter 2, Season 8. The Sideways Scythe will regenerate 30 health or shield per elimination. And yeah, that's actually a lot, right? That's a really solid amount. And it makes sense for a melee item to have this ability, right? Because, you know, you're going to be taking a lot of damage close up. And so, yeah, it makes sense. The problem with the Sideways Scythe for me is it's just not a great melee item. Like, yeah, okay, you've got okay mobility, but it's just the combos feel too slow, right? Like, it feels like you're just wielding this huge, heavy scythe. And it just feels like there's other melee items on this list that are better at it that I would rather have. I understand why people like it, but I've never been a fan of this. I mean, you could even go years back from my rankings, and I'll tell you, I don't like the Sideways Scythe. At number 10 is the Lawless slap cannon, and the Lawless slap cannon is always incredibly difficult for me to rank on lists, because on one hand, you have a really good healing item. One that gives you 20 health or shield, and gives you 20 seconds of slap with every single use. That's really good, but on the other hand, it has durability, and it uses 4 durability per shot. That means if you find it when you've got 100, best case scenario, you've got 25 uses, but then it also takes up 2 inventory slots in the same season, where you've got the Lawless slap jug, which only takes up 1 inventory slot and basically does everything the same. Without durability, this would probably inarguably be a top 5 healing weapon of all time, but just with that durability, it makes it so you have to be careful with how you're using this thing, and to me, it doesn't feel worth it for 2 inventory slots. If it only had 1 inventory slot and had durability, fine, but then 2 to sacrifice 2, yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, you do get good healing and good ability, but it's just not for me, especially in a season where you've got a lot of really good healing items by your side. At number 9 are Deadpool's dual-wield hand cannons, and you knew they had to be on this list, and maybe higher than you expected them to be, considering I am an active hater of these weapons. And as you guys know, the regular dual pistols are doing, you know, high 30s in damage a shot. But this weapon is only doing 21 damage a shot, and of course they did that because you get 3 effective HP every single time you hit somebody. 21 damage is so weak. A DPS of 75.6 is painfully bad for dual wield pistols. And honestly, like, I don't really know what else to say. It's like when you watch gameplay, you just see they keep hitting them over and over and over again. It's just like, when are they gonna die? It's so funny. This thing literally shoots marshmallows and you only get 3 effective HP back, right? So even if you hit somebody 6-7 times, well, you're basically getting 20 health back. That's really not that much. Honestly, it's a mythic weapon that they just did Deadpool so dirty by adding this into the game. It honestly just would have been better if it just stayed in the vault and never came out. And yeah, for those reasons, it's got to be in the bottom of this list. And anybody who played in Chapter 2, Season 2 will 100% agree with me. They sound sick, though. I'll give them that for sure. At number 8 are Wolverine's claws, which give you 2 HP when you are outside of the storm. Not a lot of people know that, but the big problem with Wolverine's claws are not the weapon itself, but actually how hard it is to actually obtain these things. First of all, it's not like Wolverine just spawned in one area. He could spawn all the way in Slurpy Swamp. He could spawn all the way in Weeping Woods. He would just roam around, and he was a tanky boss. He had 750 health, and not to mention, he would self-revive himself after 7 seconds if you didn't finish him. He is ruthless. He's incredibly fast. He is a tough boss to take down, and then you do all that work, right? Let's say you finally kill him, you don't get third party, you get the claws, and all they are is just kind of a run-of-the-mill melee item at the end of the day. It's not like they're really anything special, so it's not that this item itself is that bad, it's just going through that entire boss fight to get these. Yeah, I mean, that kind of hurts this weapon in my opinion. At number 7 are She-Hulk's fists. And one, I put these ahead of Wolverine's claws because they just do more damage. Those combo attacks can add up very, very quickly. You also get that great jump leap, so even if you don't want to use them as a weapon, you can still use that leap as kind of like a mini impulse grenade, you can think of it as. And they're very easy to get. They just randomly drop out of the, drones in the Quinjet patrol site. So pretty good melee item. Nothing really to say here that's anything crazy, but I will say some people are going to ask why Groot's Bramble Shield is not on this list, because that does heal you. It's not a weapon. At least something like the Bandage bazooka I can swing as like being a weapon because it's called a bazooka, but Groot's Bramble Shield, yeah, I couldn't find a way to add it on this list. It doesn't belong here. At number 6 is the Chug cannon, and yeah, you knew it was going to be this high, and I feel like it was inevitable once we got the Bandage bazooka. We're like, why don't they just do something that can heal you for shield, right? White heals can only get you to 100. Well, they released the Chug cannon, and now they're like, okay, we'll give you something that heals white heals and can also heal you for shield. And so yeah, this weapon single-handedly like made the Bandage bazooka unusable, and really the reason why the Bandage bazooka has never come back. It is really, really good. You don't have to worry about durability. You have infinite heals for the entire game. The only downside is it takes up 2 inventory slots, but I think when you see this thing on the ground, in most seasons it's an exotic, so it's incredibly rare, I think you're probably going to pick it up, right? You can sacrifice the extra inventory slot, drop that SMG or something, because having infinite heals for the entire game is definitely worth it, and not only for yourself, but also for your teammates as well. And number 5 is Juice's Chug Cannon. Yeah, I mean, it's just the regular Chug Cannon, but gives you the Hop Rock low gravity effect every time you use it. There's nothing really much more to say here. I just talked about the Chug Cannon for like a minute. It's the exact same item, but with the Hop Rock effect, which is good because, you can use it with a Shockwave grenade launcher or a Shockwave and send yourself flying. It's kind of similar to like Flowberry Fizz in that aspect. Of course, takes up 2 inventory slots, but you can also use it on yourself and your teammates. So yeah, nothing really else to say here. Juice's Chug Cannon is really, really good, and honestly, it'll probably never come back. It was only in the game for 2 weeks, if you remember that in Chapter 2 Remix. At number 4 is Thorn's Vampiric Blade from Chapter 4, Season 4. What a really, really cool item, and I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen something like this before. I mean, the whole thing with a vampire is, right, like they suck your blood, right? Like they take it from you, and that's what the Vampiric Blade does. When dealing damage, 20% of that damage is siphoned into health or shield, and then the dash attack, so that will siphon 12 points of effective health, and then the slash will siphon 14 in total. So it's just a really cool item. I think it kind of incentivizes players to actually use the melee aspect of the kinetic blade, because let's be honest, most players weren't doing that. People just use it for mobility. So if you want just a great mobility item, yeah, this item is great for that. But if you want a melee item that's also going to reward you and have the mobility, well, this item is perfect for that. So really, honestly, kind of a forgotten item, but it's really, really cool. Honestly, if you see it on the ground, I'd say you should probably take it as your mobility item, especially in Chapter 4, Season 4. At number 3 is waterbending, and I know you guys thought I was going to forget it on this list. Waterbending gives you 5 health a second when you are inside of water. But honestly, most people aren't taking waterbending for that. They're taking that because waterbending is an absolute bully of an item. If you remember back to, what was that, Chapter 5, early Chapter 5, waterbending was so good. It launched very bad, and they buffed it again. People were using this instead of their assault rifles, just so accurate. It's basically a burst AR, honestly. Waterbending is just really good. And yes, it can heal you, and yes, it is a weapon, so it does belong on this list today. You guys thought I was going to forget about it, but no, I didn't. At number 2, and the inspiration for this list today, guys, is the Double Trouble from Chapter 6, Season 4. Yes, as if having an exotic that lets you double pump wasn't strong enough, you get Siphon every single time you hit somebody. And this is a shotgun that, yes, while it is very strong, it is weaker than most pump shotguns. And you do feel the effects of this weapon, right? Most times the Double Trouble, you hit somebody 3, 4, maybe even 5 times depending on the range, and getting 8 effective health for every single hit, well, yeah, that starts to add up very, very quickly on every single hit. And not to mention, you don't have to hold the Double Trouble yourself. You could drop one of these to your teammates, and now you and both your teammate have legendary spazzes, and you both get 8 Siphon every single time you hit a shot with this. It's just very, very good, right? Again, Double Trouble was strong on its own. It doesn't need the Siphon ability. Like, it feels like, why does it even give you Siphon? But hey, it's there, and so obviously it's on this list today. And again, it was the inspiration on this list. You're probably saying, how is it not at the number 1 spot? But I've got a very sneaky pick for the number 1 spot today. Come on, you guys knew I had another trick up my sleeve, and at the #1 spot today, it's the Infinity Blade. Yes, the Infinity Blade does qualify to be on this list. It was in Public Battle Royale. It was just a belligerently strong, overpowered mythic item, but it was in the game for a couple of days, and anybody could get it at Polar Peak, so it's got to be on this list today, and obviously, it's at the #1 spot. It's at the #1 spot on really any list that it's on. Just an unbelievably strong melee weapon that will let you jump far. You can basically destroy anybody you're close to. You can wreck any type of builds. You get Siphon on every single elim. You get bonus health and shield just as a whole. I shouldn't really need to explain why the Infinity Blade is on this list today. It's belligerently overpowered. It's a reason why it was barely in the game. And actually, I remember seeing an HJ Dugan clip where it actually came back to Blitz. So I'm not going to say it's never going to come back again, because it might. But yeah, easy #1 pick for me. Alrighty folks, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of this ranking, and definitely comment any ranking ideas you want me to do next, because who knows, your video idea could be my next video. I just want to give a huge thank you to all the support recently I've been seeing on YouTube and Twitter, of course. We just hit over 1,000 followers on Twitter, so thank you so much, guys. It's really felt, and we are so close to 100,000 subscribers, and trust me, you're going to want to see the video that I have planned for 100,000 subscribers. It will be the biggest ranking video in Fortnite history on YouTube, so make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. With all that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, peace.